Boom, I'm back. Episode 2, on the road to becoming a trucker. Excited, very, very excited. Did episode 1, that's gone down really, really well. So episode 2, what I thought I'd do is I'll just talk about the next step on my journey and where I'm at. So I can show you guys what the actual journey is. There's a gym right there, and I'm just looking at it thinking, I haven't used that gym in so long and I need to. So episode 1, I talked to you about what the plans were, I talked about what's gonna go down, how it's gonna go down. And what the plan is essentially for us to go from a courier company into, some guys working in here in a minute, from a courier company into a trucking company, okay? And to do that, there's a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of money that needs to get spent to be able to do that. Because you've got to think, if you're going from running vans, commercial vans, that's what we run at the moment, small vans up to Luton vans, you're going to be going from that to HGVs. Now HGVs, there's so much legislation, there's so much that you need to do, and I'm going to show you that process step by step. So on the last one, we decided that's what we're going to do, we decided that's what we're going to go for, and now what we need to do is we need to do the step by step process. So the next step from when we last spoke before was that I needed to go for my medical. So I decided I'm going to do it. I actually went through a brokerage, they're called HGV Drive. I'll put a link in the description for those guys. You can go direct. It's just that I know the owner very, very well, and he essentially said he'd give me a bit of extra help and support. So I was like, cool, that's fine. Pay a little bit more for it, but I was like, cool, it includes everything. It includes the whole C+E, it includes all the theory test stuff, you get an app, you get the CPC as well, which you need right at the end, the whole training, how to get your provisional, all of that he includes in there. So started off by me firstly deciding as a business SPF, that's what we're going to do. So I spoke to Mike. He's then essentially, I paid for all of the C+E, which is the Arctic Class 1, paid for, that included the CPC or the theory, like every single thing, the medical, everything that I needed, all the modules, that was paid for, and that was 2,800 plus the VAT, so he's looking like what, 3,200-ish, something like that. But I can claim the VAT back, so that's cool, don't mind that. So just under, actually no, it'd be more than that actually, probably like 3,000, yeah, it was like 3,300 and something with the VAT. So claiming the VAT back, and I can write it off as an expense anyway, so that's fine. So we set that up. I've been doing my theory since we've done that. I've just been practicing on the app, doing my theory. A lot to be learnt, by the way, and I've learned a lot. There's a lot of things, especially road signs, which is very easy to forget, very easy to miss. So going through that's been brilliant. Then the next step is the medical. Now I went for that, it will be now on Saturday, so that was like 4 or 5 days ago from where we are now. And it was really easy. You go into a room, you meet the doctor's really sound, or mine was. And essentially, they're testing your eyes and they're testing your blood pressure to make sure you can see, because obviously you need to see, but also your blood pressure to make sure your health's okay. So I passed that absolutely fine. And there's 2 forms. A D2 form, which you fill out yourself, okay? And I've got it in here. So the 2 forms you need to fill out, which is in here, which go into the DVLA. It's a D2 form, and a D2 form is essentially you applying for your provisional license to drive a lorry or a HGV or a bus, whatever you want to drive. And you fill that out. There is a video, by the way, on how to fill that form out. I'll put that in the description as well, so you can see that, because even though it's kind of self-explanatory, it really does help as well to know exactly what you need to do. So I'll put the link to that in the description as well. So you fill your D2 form out, you essentially say you want to apply for HGV license. It's a couple of pages, but it's pretty simple, and again the video explains it. And then there's a D4 form, and then the D4 form is if you go to the medical, they'll actually give you that, or you can go to the post office. If you go to most post offices and ask for a D2 and a D4 form, they'll give you that with an envelope. Now I didn't take a D4 form to the medical. He had one anyway, the doctor. He filled most of it out. The only thing I had to do was fill my name and date of birth at the bottom of every page, and like my address and stuff like that. So essentially what you need is D2 and D4. You put it in the envelope with your driving license, because you're applying for your provisional driving license. Once you've got your provisional driving license, you can then do things like your theory and your hazard perception. And then once they're done, then you can get into the training. Now at the moment, mine's done. I've got the letter there. I'm sending that letter off today, which means I think they said it takes somewhere between I think it's like 5 to 10 days for it to go off, be seen. Then they're going to send my driving license back, which will have the provisional for the HGV. And then the next step is for me to carry on doing the theory tests. And then the next step after that, the theory test practice. Then it's going to be my theory, my hazard perception, very similar to when you're driving a car. And then I'm going to go into the actual training, which I'm excited for. 6 days, not back to back. Some of it's going to be spread a bit, but it's 6 days intensive. It's going to be all about reversing, how to drive the HGV, what is the HGV, how do they work, the whole shebang. And then on the last day, I can either book the testing on the last day, apparently, so what from what Mike said, or we can do that and then book it like the next week or something a bit more suitable. So that's what I'm going to be showing you on the next videos, the step by step and exactly where I'm at. As a business, we were originally thinking, right, 18-ton rigid. I talked about that in the last video. We've decided we're going to go more for the Arctic, so either a 6x2, probably a 6x2, which means you've got, or a 6x2, so you've got 3 wheels on one side, 3 wheels on the other, so 6x2. Could get 6x4, but it's probably overkill. But 6x2 for us, I want to get an Arctic unit that will take up to 44 tons, so it's probably going to be, I think from what I've seen so far, you're talking a 10 litre or a 12 litre, 450 brake horsepower, something around that. You can get, I think, like a 410 and a 420. You get 250 horsepower, but that's more like for just your goods and stuff. I'm really going to wanting to try and get a big Arctic unit that's capable. If I want to pull the bigger trailers, want to pull some plant, want to get a plant trailer, not only can I do goods, but I can do the plant as well. So that's where I'm at right now. It's exciting. It's really cool. So I'm not only just learning how to drive a lorry, or actually going for the operator's license. Now that's a completely separate thing in itself as well. So what I wanted to do was just cover off what you need to do to drive a lorry. So whether that's you wanted to become a lorry driver, but then the operator's license, that's the next step. So what I wanted to do is just really get into my C+E. And then as I'm going through that, I'm going to then start to begin to apply for my operator's license. But there's a lot of criteria for that, a lot of boxes to tick. So as I'm applying for that, I'm going to tell you all about that. I'm going to go through that step by step, and I'm going to show you the whole process. It's not going to be easy because it's not just me saying, right, I want to be a HGV driver and work for a company that has HGVs, because they supply the HGV, the trailer, the fuel, the insurance, all the taxes, all the operator license. But for us, not only am I applying to actually be a HGV driver, I've got to apply for an operator's license, and not only that, I've then got to actually get the vehicles, fuel it, fund it, etc., etc. So that's where we're at right now. The next video, I'm going to show you what the next steps are and where we're at. And we're just going to keep going step by step, and I'll keep showing you that process. So that's it for episode 2. Keep your, if you subscribe and keep an eye out for episode 3, we're going to go into the next steps, and it's just going to be piece by piece by piece. And there's going to be this whole sort of library of what you need to do, whether you want to become a HGV driver in a sense that you want to work for someone, or if you're a courier company and you want to go up to the next step, you want to have lorries, you want to have HGVs, I'm going to show you how we're doing that as well. So I've not seen anyone do this on YouTube yet. I've been looking for it. I haven't seen a video like it yet, or a library like it. If there is, let me know. I'll happily watch that. But I'm going to show you my experience. So yeah, keep tuned, keep watching these videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.